Inflation is here to stay. Consumers tap all the way out. And you want me to eat what? This is Current Events, February 21st, 2024. I am Sot L, Seeker of Truth L, Speaker of Truth L. And it is my absolute pleasure to be here with you to share these current events. Sorry, I was gone for a couple of days. I was out of town. I was on vacation. Needed it. Needed a few days off, y'all. But we back with current events. Let's jump into these dances, But first and foremost, I want to say appreciate y'all signing up for the email list. It's enough. It's a lot. It's important. It's a lot of, it's a lot of information that we're trying to get out here in a short period of time. So, welcome to thefoundation.com. Sign up for this email list right here. And let's jump into current events. CNN Business higher for longer interest rates favor large companies over their smaller rivals in many ways. Washington, D.C. Listen, I appreciate this. We're bringing this to your attention because I feel like they're finally telling the truth as far as what's really happening. And, this is not good for small banks. The days of ultra low interest rates are long gone. And the Federal Reserve could begin paring back its key interest rate from a 23-year high later and less aggressively this year than markets expect. High interest rates squeeze companies of all sizes, but that's especially the case for smaller firms, unlike large companies better equipped to weather the storm. So this is, not only, small banks, small companies. I feel like when it comes to the banks, the smaller banks, the regional banks, this is kind of, something that is, desired by maybe some of the larger banks. I can't be sure. What do I know? But it's a vastly different reality from when rates were near zero in the early days of the panorama, when the Fed cut aggressively to stimulate the battered economy, dealing with high unemployment and a sudden pullback in spending. Before, the Fed's key rate interest rate, which influences borrowing costs across the economy, had not gone above 3.25% since 2009. It's currently at a range of 5.25% and 5.5%. That was an easy money era, since it wasn't so costly for consumers and businesses to access credit, since inflation has slowed markedly from its 4-decade peak in the summer of 2022 without the economy deteriorating. At least for now, the Fed doesn't have any incentive to cut rates as soon as March or to bring them near zero. This is not good. This is not good news. It's not good for small businesses. It's not good for small banks. Over, I think, 80% of the corporate commercial real estate loans and mortgages, are going to be located in these, smaller regional banks. It's not looking good. Speaking of looking good, price conscious shoppers lift Walmart earnings as it preps $2.3 billion Vizio deal. So Walmart's going to buy the electronics company Vizio. But what I think is important is Walmart kicked off the report with robust quarter results, but they're saying that they feel as though it's price conscious shoppers that are coming in. Walmart's bigger focus on groceries than rivals such as Target has provided a bulwark against the broad slowdown in discretionary spending. It is attracting more customers, even from higher income households, by keeping grocery prices low, as its size gives it negotiating power over suppliers. I don't think that's a generally positive, thing for the economy when Walmart's seeing these types of things. Speaking of types of things, CNN Business, American Airlines is raising checked luggage prices. I mean, how much is this stuff? Checking a bag in American Airlines will now cost you more than at every other major U.S. airline, and please believe that the other airlines are going to follow. It's always one airline or one company does it first, and they're kind of like the guinea pig. If they don't get a bunch of backlash or lose a bunch of customers, the other companies do the exact same thing. So the price of the first check bag on most flights is increasing to $40. I think it was like $25 or $35. Oh, it says it will cost $35 if paid online during check-in. That's as much as a 33% increase from what it previously cost on American Airlines, $30 for both methods. Flights within and between the United States, Puerto Rico, U.S. Virgin Islands are all affected by the price increase. American has also hiked the price of secondary check bag to $45. So, it's just staggering. It's just getting, there you go. More expensive to check your bags. Watch, this is one of the companies that I don't necessarily despise. Speaking of raising prices, Ford cuts prices of electric Mustang Mach-E by up to $8,100. Isn't that crazy? Because sales fell sharply in January. The number 2 U.S. automaker's lowest priced 2023 model year Mach-E version now has a suggested retail price of $39,895. This is down from $42,995. The higher end Mach-E GT spec will cost about $7,600 less. Other versions, including the extended range premium version, will drop in price by $8,100 to $48,895. Ford said the price cuts come as the automaker continues, quote, to adapt to the market to achieve the optimal mix of sales growth and customer value, end quote. I mean, they're cutting these prices, man. It leads me to believe that these, maybe they could have sold these, man, all these cars are cheaper. One of the commenter said, and I believe him. Hey, increase in, profits. All these companies need profits, right? Pennsylvania food supplier warns Americans getting squeezed by inflation are becoming resistant to higher prices. And this would speak on, the article we read about Walmart. As the Keystone State saw inflation last year dig deeper into residents' wallets than any other state, one Philly-based food supplier is warning that the fight may not be over yet. Quote, we're concentrating, depending on how all the time, on having enough product and the right product for our customers. This is TMK Producers buyer sales lead Mike Watson. This is what he told Fox. He said, quote, and we can see that they're resistant to some of these higher prices as they continue, end quote. The volume may tighten up. Quote, the volume might tighten up a little bit. It's what we see as our customers are buying more often, but less at each purchase, end quote. So they're buying more often, but less at each purchase. And, they're buying less of the items. And, this is just Philadelphia. This is one grocer speaking out. I don't think it's just the only grocer that's dealing with this. One of the biggest news things that are going on around right now is Capital One to acquire Discover Financial. So that's a large credit card company acquiring another large credit card company. To me, I don't really care. I just wanted to bring it up. Personally, I think it's just, this is what's going to happen. You're going to have consolidation in credit card companies. You're going to have consolidation in shipping companies. You're going to have consolidation in tech companies. You're going to have a consolidation in banks. You're going to have consolidation in producers. There's a consolidation of wealth happening right now. There's a wealth transfer happening right now. Capital One announced that the deal would create a global payments platform at scale with 70 million merchant acceptance points in more than 200 countries and territories. The all-stock transaction will be at a premium of 26.6% based on Discover's closing price of $110.49 on February 16th, with Discover's shareholders set to receive 1.0192 Capital One shares for each Discover share owned. Well, congratulations. You know, if I did that, I'd take those shares and sell them or trade them, probably trade them. Chemical found in Cheerios, Quaker Oats, other oat-based foods linked to potential health issues. Pesticide was found in 80% of people who were tested in the U.S. Pesticides. It took me a while to find this. Fox, some of those, Fox will do some of those articles and pieces that other ones won't. A pesticide, linked to reproductive and developmental issues in animals was found in oat-based food sold in the U.S., including under major brand names like Cheerios and Quaker Oats. This is according to a recent peer-reviewed study. What? I'm trying to pause so I can. Chlormequat. Chlormequat was detected in 80% of people tested in 3 geographical regions of the U.S. between 2017 and 2023. This is according to a study by the Environmental Working Group and published in the Journal of Exposure Science and Environmental Epidemiology, man. I'm sorry, I don't usually pronounce these words, but I got you. Researchers also found that, quote, the concentrations detected in 2023 samples were significantly higher than previous year's samples. This is like a briefing. While some studies published in the National Library of Medicine linked the chemical to reproductive or developmental issues in animals, it raised, quote, questions about whether it could also harm humans, end quote. Humans are animals too. Please don't separate humans from the animal kingdom. Animated matter. They're finding this stuff in cereals, man. It's going in. Listen, it's in cereals, man. Oatmeals and all types of stuff. This reads like a briefing. I'm gonna say that one more time. In 2018, researchers noted that the Environmental Protection Agency published acceptable food tolerance levels for chlormequat chloride in imported oat, wheat, barley, as well as some animal products. In 2020, allowable levels were then increased for oats. The study said the use of chlormequat on food crops like wheat, oats, barley decreases the stem height of the plants, making them less likely to bend over and easier to harvest. Along with testing the pesticide in humans, researchers simultaneously studied the levels of chlormequat. I want to call it chlormequat. I don't know why I want to call it that. I want to add syllables in oat and wheat-based products purchased in the U.S. in 2022 and 2023. This is very, 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 very recent. Very recent. 80% of people. This reads like a briefing. In the sense that, what if this was being, oh man, as if this is like a check-in, like, yo, we're on track. It's kind of how this reads. This is confusing and disconcerting to say the least. I think that, hey, listeners, y'all should be aware. You should be aware. CNN Business, here's why it's so hard to find an affordable apartment. Finding a new apartment to rent can be a slog. Wow. And with over half of U.S. renters already paying more than 30% of their income, the standard threshold, it is clear there is an affordability crisis. Beyond the cost, in many places, it is hard to even find apartments to rent, especially in dense northeastern cities like New York and Boston, where building, you see what I did there? New housing is very difficult. In cities like these, just the expense of securing an apartment can cost thousands of dollars, even before the rent comes into play. Because you got to do the deposits and, yay. In New York City, the rental vacancy rate, which is the share of habitable unoccupied units, has dropped to a record low of 1.4%. That's according to a report released February 8th, which has been produced every 3 years since 1965 by the New York City Department of Housing, Preservation, and Development. The survey was conducted between January and June 2023. In Boston, the rental vacancy rate was a very tight 2.6% at the end of last year, according to the Census Bureau. Both cities have some of the highest median rental prices in the nation. Renters in Boston region will pay a median rent of $2,955 a month for an apartment with 2 bedrooms or smaller. I'm sorry. I love y'all. While those in the greater New York area pay $2,817 a month. This is according to Realtor.com. Both cities saw rent jump by more than 6% in January from a year ago. That's a lot, man. There's a lot of vacant office spaces. But, the problem with, renovating these vacant office spaces into livable units is, typically you have a whole floor and there's just one bathroom, maybe 2 bathrooms. There's each room is not, it's not what is it, plumbed. it's not heat. You can't, there's no gas pipes. So if for each unit they have to plumb it, bathrooms, water, gas, electricity, so on and so forth. That's that's a lot of money, especially for these corporate office owners who aren't getting any lease rents right now. This doesn't seem like it's getting any better anytime soon. Home Depot forecasts a weak 2024. Home Depot, a bellwether of the housing market in the U.S. economy, said sales dropped over the winter and it is expecting a slow 2024. Tell me something new. Let's move on, y'all. We got about 13,000 home security customers were shown someone else's home. What? Why is y'all? This happened with Ring already, y'all. This is not a coincidence. A smart camera maker said that some users last week saw footage from cameras that weren't their own because of a security glitch. In an email to users sent Monday, the company said an outage that lasted several hours last Friday briefly left camera footage inaccessible because of a glitch with its cloud computing partner at Amazon Web Services. As Wise worked to bring the cameras back up, about 13,000 users experienced a security issue where they saw wrong thumbnails from other users' Wise app. About 1,500 users clicked on the tab showing the other people's footage, which enlarged the thumbnail and in some cases allow people to view footage from other users' cameras. Man, this is a security issue. This is y'all putting cameras in your house, man. I don't know why y'all putting cameras in your house, man. I don't understand. Maybe in one room or something, with the baby monitor or something. But I don't understand why you putting cameras in your house that you don't even own the footage, man. The footage isn't even in your house. It's not even on your own hard drive. You have to pull it down from a website, which means it's okay though. Neuralink's first human patient able to control mouse through thinking, Musk says. The first human patient implanted with a brain chip from Neuralink appears to have fully recovered and is able to control a computer mouse using their thoughts. The startup's founder, Elon Musk, said late Monday, quote, progress is good, and the patient seems to have made a full recovery with no ill effects that we are aware of. Not yet. The patient is able to move a mouse around the screen just by thinking, Musk said in Spaces event on social media platform X. Musk said Neuralink was now trying to get as many mouse button clicks as possible from the patient. Neuralink did not immediately reply to Reuters' request for further details. The firm successfully implanted a chip on its first human patient last month, and they fully recovered. I'm amazed, but not amazed enough to try it. After receiving approval from human trial recruitment in September, the study uses a robot. Check it out. It's a robot to surgically place a brain-computer interface implant in a region of the brain that controls the intention to move, Neuralink has said. So it's a robot putting in the robot inside adding that the initial goal is to enable people to control a computer cursor or keyboard using their thoughts. Musk has grand ambitions for Neuralink, saying it would facilitate speedy surgical insertions of its chip devices to treat conditions like obesity, autism, depression, and schizophrenia. Oh, It's going to help. Oh my God. Neuralink, which was valued at about $5 billion last year, has faced repeated calls for scrutiny regarding its safety protocols. Look, I'm not worried about that. What I'm worried about is, listen, man. This. So I know some of y'all hear me. This sounds crazy. This sounds amazing. So what else we got here? On a good note, CNBC gold is at $3,000 and oil is at $100 by 2025. Citi analysts do not rule it out. There is an off chance that gold prices could soar to $3,000 per ounce and oil could be $100 per barrel within the next 12 to 18 months. Yeah, gold prices could. I'm just going to read this. I'm not, my commentary. Gold, which is currently trading at $2,016, could surge by about 50% if central banks sharply ramp up purchases of the yellow metal, a possible stagflation, or in case of deep global recession. Those are a lot of different options. If central banks ramp up purchases on gold, or if there's possible stagflation, or in case of a deep global recession. Which one of you guys? First of all, central banks have been buying gold a lot. You can look it up. I'm crazy, so I don't know what I'm talking about. Do your own research, please, because it's just better that way. But listen, and I think we're entering a deep global recession. I mean, look at what's going on. And then on top of that, you have Basel III rules that are coming into play. I think it's BASEL 3, where gold, I think, is the only tier 1 asset. Check it out. That could double central banks' gold purchases, challenging jewelry consumption as the largest driver of gold demand. Quote, the most likely wildcard path, $3,000 an ounce gold, is a rapid acceleration of an existing but slow-moving trend, de-dollarization across emerging markets' central banks. That in turn leads to a crisis of confidence in the U.S. dollar. Citi analysts, including Doshi, wrote in a recent note. Central banks' gold purchases have accelerated to record levels. That's, at least they're telling the truth, in recent years as they seek to diversify reserves and reduce credit risk. Citi said China and Russia's central banks are leading gold purchases, with India, Turkey, and Brazil also increasing bullion buying. The world's central banks have sustained 2 successive years of more than 1,000 tons of net gold purchases. Quote, if that goes again to double very quickly to 2,000 tons, we think that would be actually very bullish for gold, end quote. Another trigger that could drive gold to $3,000 would be a deep global recession that could spur a U.S. Federal Reserve to cut rates rapidly. Quote, that means the brakes have been cut, not to 3%, but to 1% or lower. That will take us to $3,000 gold, is what he's saying. Gold prices tend to share an inverse relationship with interest rates. As interest rates dip, gold becomes more appealing compared to fixed income assets such as bonds, which would yield weaker returns in a low interest rate environment. I hate it when they talk about gold and silver like this, because I don't agree with looking at gold and silver as a trade, as something to make interest on, unless I'm using the gold silver ratio in ratio trading, but actual precious metals. Anyone who knows gold and silver knows that it is real money, and that we save in real money. We don't save in dollars or depreciating assets. Anyone who knows that we save in true wealth. Wealth is held in tangible assets. And I'm not, but okay, okay. Let's move forward. Is eye color surgery the new fad? Interest soars as doctors warn of permanent risks. This was USA Today. I guess I'm late on this. People are getting the pigment. They're getting stuff put in their eye, man. These days, there are many ways to get what you want but don't have. Dimples? Wear cheek clamps. Freckles? Get them tattooed on your face. Different eye color? Just ask the ophthalmologist to laser a chemical dye into your cornea, man. Or have a silicone iris surgically implanted instead in your eyeball, in your eye. If that sounds dangerous to you, that's because it is. And eye doctors are desperate to get the message across to many blue and green-eyed hopefuls who are being bamboozled by purported success stories online. Eye color change procedures, none of which are FDA approved, carry with them risks that include severe light sensitivity. And listen, just because they're not FDA approved doesn't mean that they're not doing it still here in America. Absolutely still happening. One clinic in New York is driving much of the social media chatter. This procedure costs $12,000 and is not covered by insurance. You see, it's happening here. They will say that, ooh, it's not FDA approved. And people will be like, oh, okay, well, it's not happening here. Yes, it is. Yep. Just before the new year, this person permanently changed their eye color with Cerato from dark brown to hazel. Cerato is the first keratopigmentation, man, practice in the U.S., man. Or you can get an iris implant. What is that you say? During iris implant surgery, a doctor cuts a slit in your cornea and slides a folded artificial iris made of silicone into your cornea. The fake iris is then unfolded to cover the natural one. This surgery is illegal in the U.S., so many people get it in other countries. Man. So the pigment, basically your tattoo in your eyeball, you can get that done in the United States, but this cornea implant, you can't do that. This is but it gets worse. It definitely gets worse. Yo, scientists suggest eating human flesh to fight climate change, man. Yo, the more and this is, look, you see the year on this, this is not new. And this this sentiment of meal is not isolated. The more I look into this, the more I see, which is spooky, absolutely spooky. A Swedish scientist speaking offered an unusual possible tactic in combating global climate change. Man, come on, man. Stockholm School of Economics, man. Professor and researcher, I'm not even saying your name, man, reportedly said he believes eating human meat derived from, come on, man, might be able to help save the human race if only a world society were to awaken to the idea. Come on, man. Eating dead bodies, bro? His argument for human cannibalism was front and center during a panel talk called "Can You Imagine Eating Human Flesh About the Gastric Stomach?" Man, come on, man. This is difficult. Conservative taboos against cannibalism, he said, can change over time if people simply tried eating human flesh. Some of the talking points at the seminar, including whether humans were too selfish to, quote, live sustainably, and if cannibalism is the solution to food sustainability in the future. When asked during an interview after his talk if he personally would try human flesh, the dude said he was open to the idea. He already did, man. He already did. Oh, I can't take it. Man, Japan, you remember what Japan was talking about? Oh, man. Y'all, please check out welcometothefoundation.com. Sign up for the email list. You see why I took some time off. I mean, it wasn't just that. It wasn't that. I'm not gonna. I won't. But wow, there's a lot of stuff going on. There's things that are happening over here and over there. There's things significantly, things that are happening that are significant that we're not seeing. And, we're just looking to stay up to date, apply correct information correctly, Sign up for the email list at welcometothefoundation.com. If you are interested, we have our private membership area. You can email me, admin@welcometothefoundation.com, and I will shoot you a private invite. We have our trustee training. Still the, affordable trustee training. You're ready to establish your private estate. You're looking to go private. You're looking to title assets and property properly. Then, this is for you. There's a link in the description if you're interested. We don't sell, we offer. This is private, it's offer and acceptance. So there's the offer. How to start a business. Link in the description. And I forgot to raise that again. $20. It's an extensive course if you're ready to start your business to, reduce your dependence on other people's business, on public business. I suggest you do your dance, and it's shipping now, the Foundation Volume 2 of Cybersecurity. It'll be issue number 5. We have a digital edition. We have a print edition. You choose. Link in the description. 100%. We appreciate you checking out the show. And I'll catch you tomorrow. Y'all have a great day. Enjoy yourself. Take care of yourself. Make sure you say 10 things that you're thankful for before you go to sleep tonight, every night, because it's very important. And we'll catch you tomorrow on Current Events. Peace.